Welcome to our first of our six-part series as WCPoets.com previews the upcoming 2010 fall sports season. Today we're joined by men's soccer head coach Paul Walmsley and team captain DJ Covarrubias. Coach, we'll begin with you. Last season, you all had an extremely impressive season, going 11 games in a row unbeaten at one point, finishing second in the conference in the regular season, hosting a home conference playoff game, and landing 5 players on the all-conference team, all of whom returned. After such a successful season, what are the expectations for the 2010 Poets?
Well, the expectations are we're very, very excited about this season. We've been working very, very hard since the end of last season. We didn't want to rest on our laurels. And the expectations are to build upon the success of last season and see how far we can take this team.
One of those returning all-conference performers is DJ Covarrubias, who earned first-team honors in 2009. DJ, it's your senior season. What kind of expectations do you have?
We're just trying to, take it up another level. Always working our tails off every practice, every game, just trying to, expect the best out of everybody.
Now, Coach, you open up on the road on September 1st, but then play your next 4 games at home, which includes games against Biola, who's ranked nationally in the NAIA polls, Chapman, who advanced to the NCAA Division III tournament, and your conference opener against last season's regular season champs Pomona Pitzer. How important is it for you to get off to a quick start?
Well, just recapping the preseason games we've scheduled, if you look at the conference, we've scheduled the toughest preseason campaign. Each one of those 3 teams, Biola, Chapman, and Concordia, are probably good enough to win SCIAC. No doubt about it. They're good teams. We schedule tough teams on purpose because we don't tend to do well against teams we think aren't as good. And I wanted to really test our players because we have a big roster this year. And I wanted to test our players pre-season. I wanted them to set the standard and know how hard they're going to have to play so that when it comes to play against Pomona, we're at that level already as opposed to stepping up and playing a tough team first game.
Now, DJ, as a player, you look at the early portion of your schedule and it's certainly challenging. Now, how do you feel about such a competitive early schedule in addition to your SCIAC schedule?
Well, like Coach said, we're just out there wanting to see kind of the players we have and, kind of working our way to our tough conference games. So each game is, to see what kind of players we have and making the best team we can.
Coach, talk a little bit about the leadership role that DJ plays for this team.
Well, DJ is a leader on the field and off the field. Once the season's over with, he helps in every way he can, keeping the guys motivated and together and maintaining our fantastic team chemistry. On the field, he leads by example. All-conference first-team midfielder in his junior year, that's enough said. He leads by example. What I'm looking for DJ to do this year, I'm looking for him to enjoy his senior year and to be able to focus more on his performances, take a little bit of the pressure off him because we do have good players around him now, so he can go out there and perform, enjoy his season, and again, hopefully finish on a high for us.
Now, we've mentioned that DJ returns in the midfield as an all-conference performer. What are some other names in the midfield that we might be hearing that you expect to make, a positive impact on the squad this year?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, we have all 5 SCIAC conference players returning. I think we're the only team in our conference that's having all of their conference players returning, so we're excited about that. We've brought in some very, very good players this season, some recruits that look exceptional. And every one of our players has returned fit. We had 2 practices last night. Yesterday they went very, very well. I don't like to necessarily single players out at this stage because who knows, we could get someone appear from nowhere that surprises us, surprises the conference. So it's open to anybody to perform and to start this year for us.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about the all-conference performers that are returning. And on the defensive end of things, Brendan McWalters and Michael Reed, both of whom were second-teamers last year, they come back. What kind of expectations do you have for them?
Well, because of the quality of the recruits we've brought in, the first expectation I want them to have is, will they make the team this year? We've brought in a very good goalkeeper to put pressure on Mike. We've brought in a very good central defender from Scotland to put pressure on Brendan. So we know they've performed well in the past. They're excellent players, but we want them having to take their games to the next level and not resting on last year's laurels.
And the other 2 all-conference returners are Adolfo Santos and Serge Jovanovic, who were a first team and a second team honoree respectively, and they made for a pretty good 1-2 punch on the offensive side of things. Now, what kind of things should we expect out of those 2 guys?
Well, they're going to have a challenge on their hands this year because they're not going to take teams by surprise. Now, every team that plays Whittier are going to know who Serge and Adolfo are before they play us, so they're going to be prepared for them. Serge has come back looking fitter and stronger. Adolfo's been working hard, and in practice last night looked very, very good. But again, with those two, I brought in recruits this year. They're going to put pressure on Adolfo and Serge. They're going to give them a break in the games as well. We have Big Sam Russell returning. He's going to be fit. We have John Palomino. He only played half a season last year because of injury, but he's a goal scorer, there's no doubt. He looks sharp. And we brought in another new recruit, a local player that can help as well. So again, same message. They're good players. They're going to be known about this year. They have to work on making the team and also taking their game to the next level.
Now, DJ, Coach is talking about all these recruits coming in and challenging starters that are returning. How do you feel about your spot? Is it safe?
We couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, it's the worst coming in and just being the only center midfielder as, coming in freshman year. You don't want that. You want somebody always pressuring you for your spot, making you a better player. And like I said, you couldn't ask for anything more.
Well, I'd like to thank both Coach Paul Walmsley and DJ Covarrubias for taking the time out to preview their season. The Poets open things up on Wednesday, September 1st. They're on the road at Soka. And then on September 4th, they host Biola right there at the Donald E. Graham Soccer Field at 11 a.m. Coach, DJ, thanks again.